Aw, shit. We're about to get some female comedy up in this joint. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, as one of your co-hosts with Brian Sudfield. On this week's episode, in honor of Snatched, please just kidnap and snatch me right away because that movie's awful. Excuse me. But we are going to be honoring female-led comedies. It should be hilarious and hilarious. I'm going to tell some terrible jokes like always, and you guys are going to cringe. It's a fun time. Come join the party. Where Brian and I are going to choose on our top 5 list, we're just going to have to sit down, relax, and find out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Brian Sudfield.
That's fucking right. Hey, listen, guys, if you're new to the show, welcome. What we do is we take a look at some of the movies coming out on Friday. We will pick a movie, and we will honor it by picking an actor, actress, director, genre, what have you, and we will honor that movie with a top 5 list according to such. The cool thing about the show, it's really cool. You should actually listen to it because it's pretty damn fucking sexy. You know, in honor of the Blu-ray of 50 Shades Darker this week. If you're new to the show, what we do is we take our list, and it's fun because we don't know each other's lists, so that makes it more fun. And it's live, so we have no idea what the hell's going to come out of our mouths. Now, Brian, co-host, buddy, old pal, B-Rye, what's going on?
Yesterday, I finished my first year of college. Holy fucking shit.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir, but god damn it, it went too quick. I miss all my friends from college already. I mean, I'm excited to be home, but god damn it, I'm not ready to be back here in my hometown, but hey, it is what it is. Other than that, I'm doing swell. How are you, Chase?
This is the absolute worst fucking week of my life so far. And let me tell you guys this. I'm usually a pretty chipper person. Brian knows this, but if I sound pissed off in a podcast episode, you know I had a pretty shit week. I just want to let everyone know that healthcare is fucking terrible in this country. Do not get a pre-existing condition because you will get fucked out the butt. I have Crohn's disease, and I'm experiencing that right now. And I've had the disease for 7 years. And I'm just now getting ass fucked. And then also, my car died today because my starter was gone. So this was a terrible fucking week. However, I always love doing these episodes. You guys are the best. I always enjoy everyone listening, including the same 5 people that comment every single week. You guys are fucking dope, my friends. So, and I know Kenny is definitely going to like this episode for sure. Because, Brian, what are we doing this week?
This week, in honor of Snatch. Chase has seen it. I have not.
Gross.
Can't comment. Well, I see it. Since I work at a movie theater, I'll probably see it for free. Who the hell knows? We are going to be doing our top 5 female-led comedies.
Yeah, I'm excited to bring some of these movies to light. And I realize that most of our picks that Brian and I are going to have are modern, but that's also something you can't really get mad at us about because I know that, you know, having a female in the lead is, you know, something still new to Hollywood because, you know, they live in the 1920s. But, you know, it's just one of those things to where it's going to have a lot more modern picks than, you know, kind of older picks. And, like, that's not because we're, you know, not well-diversed and whatnot, but it's just that they're now coming to, like, to prominence, you know, female-led comedies and whatnot. But when you listen, I don't give a shit what gender you are. I don't give a shit what skin color you are. If you're fucking funny, you are fucking funny. And that's just the way it goes. If your movie is shit, then I'm going to call your movie shit. And it's not because, you know, I'm like sexist or racist or whatever. It's because the movie was garbage. So I know that it kind of like irks a lot of people when this subject's kind of brought up because the whole Ghostbuster thing last year and whatnot. You know, people saying it's terrible, which I understand because I thought it was just a very bland, boring movie. But a lot of people turn and look at you and be like, well, you're sexist and whatnot. It's like, no, because the movie is bad. But when you have a good female-led comedy, it can really fucking crush it. And I think Brian and I probably have the same number ones, which I'm totally fine with because it's one of the best, I think, of our generation for sure. But yeah, so that is what we're doing. I'm excited. Brian, do you get more excited for female comedies now than like when we were growing up as kids, because they're kind of more prominent now. So it's like a lot of studios are putting more females in leads now, taking more chances and paying them more. I know, what a weird concept, right? It's 2017, but what do you think about when females take the comedy lead?
Well, I like it because, as a guy, I feel like we need more females to headline films. Like
we do.
Just a few days ago at the Montclair Film Festival, I saw a film called Band-Aid, which when it comes out June 2nd in New York and LA. So if you live in New York and LA, see it opening weekend. It's fucking fantastic. It was written, directed, and starring Zoe Lister-Jones, who most people may know if they are familiar with the show Life in Pieces. She plays the wife of Colin Hanks' character on that show, and she wrote, directed, and starred in it, and most of the cast was female crew. So, and obviously I'm not a female, but, that makes me happy as a filmmaking major, because we need more female-led movies, female directors, female writers, female actors, female editors, cinematographers, composers, what have you, all that stuff. And, yeah, I get excited for female-led comedies. It always depends on who's in it, of course, but, I get more excited because most of the recent ones we've had are actually pretty solid. So, there are a lot of funny female actresses out there and female comedians and whatnot. So, yeah, for the most part, I get excited for them. But it always depends. But for the most part, I get pretty excited. Now, the one coming out this weekend, like I said, you saw it. I didn't. Am I excited for it? No. Do I wish I was? Of course, because I like Amy Schumer. I like Goldie Hawn. I like the director of it. And I like the writer. So, it's sad, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to do this list. And yeah, I usually do get excited for female-led comedies.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there needs to be more movies like this. And when people kind of compare it, they're like, when The Hangover came out, that was all straight-up dudes. And so, like, once Bridesmaids came out, I would say, is when we kind of saw this, like, shift to where, like, more studios would take more chances with this. Since Bridesmaids kind of crushed and whatnot, and really kind of drive away from the all, like, kind of male-led hangover type of movies and have them with females or whatever. So, as we're seeing with that shit-looking movie, Rough Night, not because they're female, because those trailers are god-awful. And I love me some ScarJo, and I actually like all 5 of those actresses, by the way. That movie looks fucking terrible. But yes, In Honor of Snatched, which is a bad movie if you want to watch my review, it's not good, but there are some gems out there, so let's go ahead and begin this episode and give you guys those gems. All right, number 5, Brian, I have to ask you every single week, and who knows, next week I might ask you a different question. I don't know what's going to happen next week, but Brian, what is your number 5 favorite female-led comedy of all time so far?
My number 5, I'm going with a film from 2002. This was based on a one-woman show. Didn't know what to expect from it. Heard great things. It's like one of the most profitable films ever made. My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Interesting. I remember... Oh, shit. Wait, was that 2002?
Yep.
Was I working at the... No, I was not working at the theater at the time. I could have sworn I was working at the theater when it came... Are you sure it wasn't 2006?
I'm absolutely positive it wasn't 2006.
Huh. Well, fuck me. All right, so My Big Fat Greek Wedding. You know what's really funny is I never have seen it, but I mean, I remember when it did come out, and it was like this humongous craze, and it was one of the most profitable indie films of all time. It made like $400 million domestically on like a 5-cent budget. So, yeah, convince everyone out there listening, and convince myself why we should check this one out, because, like I said, I've heard about it, just haven't got around to see it, because I think the sequel has tainted it a little bit, because everyone says the sequel is terrible. So,
the sequel wasn't that great. It wasn't terrible, like, compared to Zoolander 2. Yeah. But it wasn't that great either. It was very forgettable. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, for people who don't know what this is about, so you got this girl, Tula, who has this humongous Greek family. And, the way it's supposed to work with Greek families, and I wouldn't know. I don't know anyone that's Greek, I think. You have to find a Greek man to marry. Oh, you have to find this Greek man to marry, blah, blah, blah. And Tula, she finds this man named Ian, played by, John Corbett. I believe, is that him? I believe so. Anyways, movie's really funny. It's charming. Great script. It was an Oscar-nominated script. She wrote the script based on her one-woman show. And, yeah, like Chase brought up and like I brought up, the movie cost I believe, like $5 million to make, and then it grossed more than $300 million. It was like the highest grossing movie that didn't reach the #1 spot at the box office, and it's hold that record for how long? 15 years now. So that's a big deal. It's fast paced. It's short. It's really indie. Like when you watch the movie, you could tell that it is a true indie. But the sequel kind of feels a little more big budgeted because I think the budget was like 4 times more. So the budget was like $20 million. But yeah, I think this film is fantastic. I remember when I first watched it in preparation for the sequel, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. And everyone was like, oh, it's really fucking good. And I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. And it was really fucking good. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it's great. Did the sequel need to be made? No, not really. I mean, it was fun seeing all the characters again, but in the end, it wasn't really that good. So the first one, though, really fucking solid. My number 5.
Yeah, like I said, I've heard a lot about it. I remember the records when it came out. It was one of those kind of sleeper hits. But, yeah, I'll check it out eventually for sure. It looks cute. All right, so my number 5, I'll go with the modern pick, and that's because this is actually a spiteful pick. I'm going to be upfront with you guys because I hate Snatch so much. I'm going to throw Trainwreck in there because Trainwreck is actually 10 times better, 1,000 times better than Snatch. And I said this in my review, and I'll say it again. And I'm not... Yes, okay, so most of it is just in spite, but I actually do think it's a good female-led comedy by someone that has never really made me like her in the past. Like, I don't really like her stand-up. I don't like Amy Schumer's stand-up. So I was a little trepidatious when, this movie was coming out, but it's directed by my boy Judd Apatow. He didn't write it, but he is directing it, and I will watch anything that he touches. So he is the reason I went to go see it. But I was shocked, as surprised as everyone else, it was actually really good. And when you look at that compared to Snatch, and I hate bringing up other movies that have no correlation with the current movie. I get that. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that. But what Amy Schumer did in this is that, yes, she wrote it. So she had like that comedic grasp on the characters. The improv was there. Tilda Swinton plays a very unrecognizable role. And I really do like the characters. I think they're very genuine. I can actually see like a Bill Hader and Amy Schumer hooking up in a relationship and having problems and having all this, kind of relationship turmoil that we experience sometimes when we are in relationships. I love Judd Apatow films because they have soul to them. They have humanity to them. They have like this likable kind of realistic presence about them. They're just very inviting, and you always feel welcome while watching it. And I enjoy all the characters that he's ever directed. That includes 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up. This is 40 Funny People, and now this is like I think they have so much heart to them, and this is no different. I do think Amy has great comedic talent in movies when she has the right material, and she can also act dramatically. Not the best yet, but she's working on it, and it's very subtle in Trainwreck, and it's subtle in Snatch, but it's better handled in Trainwreck. But Trainwreck is just a good, fun time at the movies, and really just kind of has some nice humanity to it. So Trainwreck is my number 5. Brian, I know it's not on your list because it's like super modern. So what do you have to say about this?
Despite it not being on my list, I own the blue of it. I loved the movie. I thought it was fantastic. Like you, it was interesting when this movie was coming out because I'm like, oh, I like Judd Apatow, but it's strange because he's written all of his movies. He didn't write this movie. He just directed it, and that's it. That's a cool thing. It's always interesting whenever someone who writes their film just sticks to directing it and not writing it. And I have to say, the script was incredible. Great comedic timing. I thought Amy Schumer gave a really solid performance in the movie. I would have loved it personally if the script got nominated for the Oscar because I thought it was a really solid script. Like the characters were well developed, the drama was there. There was a lot of heart, like you said. And Amy Schumer, when she's given the right material, she does good. Like, I'm with you. As much as I love her, like her personality, her stand-up to me is I just started watching her comedy special. Not very good, personally. I thought it was really bad. And that's sad because I do like her a lot. But, yeah, Trainwreck was a really solid surprise at the theater. And, yeah, it was really impressive to see someone come from, like, a show and stand-up comedic stand-up background just to make a movie, and she did really fucking good. And yeah, good movie.
Yeah, and I'm telling you guys this right now. Like, Trainwreck or Snatch makes Trainwreck look like the best thing Amy Schumer has ever done, and it also makes her look like this like esteemed actress. So like, it's just so night and day, and I just feel so embarrassed for everyone on Snatch. But whatever. Trainwreck's number 5. So Brian, what say you? Number 4, give it to me.
Number 4 is the first like Academy Award like picture related film on here, and that's Juno.
Interesting. Brian, this hasn't happened in a while. We have the same one on the same spot.
Look at that.
Forgot about this movie until I was looking up female-led comedies. And I was like, I know it's bad for me to say that, but when I was looking up, I was like, oh yeah, Juno. Like, I remember watching that for the first time, and because everyone like had like their jokes about it. They're like, oh, it's like, very quirky. She says all these weird, random things that hipsters say. It's a hipster. Sure, whatever you want to call it, whatever. But yeah, I just remember really liking it with a really great, solid performance from, oh shit, Brian, what's your name?
Ellen Page.
Thank you. Ellen Page. As you guys can see, I'm killing it on this section. But no, Juno was very sweet. It was very heartwarming. I just loved all the performances all around. I know it seemed like it was quirky, but it also seemed like real characters. And that's the thing you can kind of take away from it, is that I can see these weird people being in real life, having a fucking burger phone or whatever. So like, I think it's just a very heartwarming, kind of funny story about pregnancy and still going through the trials and tribulations of how hard it is to go through a pregnancy while still having some lighthearted moments. So that's all I'll say about it, but that is my number 4. I'm sure Brian can have a lot more deeper thoughts about it. So yeah, so what about you? Does Juno kind of stick out for you?
I love coming of age movies, and Juno is one hell of a good movie. Like Ellen Page, to me, I respect people for speaking their sexuality, but fuck, I hate that she's a fucking lesbo. I hate it so goddamn much.
Brian, you just have to accept it and go, no. Ellen Page, you're a lesbian now.
Yeah, but she's hot and she's gorgeous, and she may be short, but you know what? Size doesn't matter.
Well, okay, so she's short enough for Brian, but I'm gonna give you guys a little history about me. I'm 6'4", so she would basically like look like a dwarf to me. So no, thank you.
True.
Chase is right. I can only date women that are at like a certain height range. If they go below like 5'2", that's when I have to really evaluate my life and go, oh, I'm dating a legalized midget. So it's like. Yeah, so Brian has Ellen Page on his celebrity list. I do not, so there's some tidbits for you guys.
No, but in all seriousness, the movie is absolutely fantastic. It was nominated for a few Oscars. The script won Best Original Screenplay. Jason Reitman directed this, and this was like the first big thing. Oh, no. He directed Thank You for Smoking before this, and that movie fucking rocks.
That's a great underrated movie.
It is. This is great. Up in the Air is great. Young Adult was good. Man, Women, and Children, suck my dick. Labor Day, suck my dick. Jason Reitman, I'm waiting for your next movie. Like, do something. Thanks. No, it's well written. It's well directed. Very well acted. Ellen Page, she got an Oscar nomination. I think she was 20 when she made this. So that's fairly young. Yeah, and you got great supporting performances from Michael Cera, Jason Bateman, J.K. Simmons, Allison Janney. One great line, one back and forth. It's Michael Cera and Ellen Page, or Juno, and the kid that Michael Cera plays. He's like, well, I still have your underwear. I still have your virginity. Will you shut up? Just genius. No, Juno's fantastic. And a lot of kids my age apparently like to mock it because they think it pushes pregnancy in your face. Bitch, no. It's a good movie. Like, I understand what you're saying.
Do people your age not realize that teenage pregnancy runs rampant in this country?
Apparently not.
Okay, so apparently they have been living under a rock and realize that teenage pregnancy is not a thing.
That is also true.
Wow.
I think I'm not in high school anymore. People at college, they all like this movie. The people I've talked to about it anyways. No, it's great. Really charming, really endearing. Kind of sad when you watch Jason Bateman's character because he and Jennifer Garner want to adopt Juno's kid, and Jason Bateman's like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, he's like hesitant about it, and yeah, it's really sad. And in the end, great movie. fantastic. Yeah, great, just fantastic.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting about Diablo Cody is that I really like Juno quite a bit. I hate Jennifer's Body. I don't give a shit if people say, oh, it's supposed to be like a throwback. I don't give a shit if it's a throwback. It should throw back into the trash. The best thing Diablo Cody's ever done is young adult. And the reason why I can't put that on this list is because that's not a comedy. That's more of a dramedy, and it's got more drama than it does comedy, even though Charlize Theron's kind of like darkly comedic in that movie. But young adult is the best thing Diablo Cody's ever done. I love that movie so much. You know, I do like Juno quite a bit as well, and that's why I made my list. So, since we have the same one, Brian, number 3, what do you got?
Number 3, I'm going with Alexander Payne's Election.
Interesting. Would you consider that Reese Witherspoon to be the main character?
It's weird because when I was looking up a list, it was listed as one, and I mean, in all honesty, I feel like she and Matthew Broderick share the lead role. Like, I mean, Matthew Broderick gets the first billing because at the time he was, a big deal because of Ferris Bueller and everything else he did in the 80s. But I don't know, man. It's one of my favorite movies of the 90s. Election's fucking phenomenal.
It's a good movie. I never really thought about it that way. And hey, it's your list. You can justify. I never thought of it as Reese Witherspoon as the lead. I thought more of like Matthew Broderick's in the lead. She's more of a co-lead, but it's like she's still in the background a lot.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I don't know why. I feel like we never had an opportunity. We never did a Reese Witherspoon episode, did we?
Not yet, but if we do, Big Little Lies will be number 1 all day, every day, son.
Fuck yes, man. Fuck yes. But anyway, Election.
Wait. Should we hint that to the audience? Should Brian and I do a top 5 kind of TV show? I don't know. Comment down below. Let us know. All right, yeah, Brian, take it away.
This now also out of the Reese Witherspoon comedies, like the 2 big ones, it's this and Legally Blonde. I do like Legally Blonde. I think it's a good movie, but somehow I love Election more because I'll be honest with you. My high school did something like this a few years ago, my freshman year of high school. There was this guy, and not a girl. There was this guy who was so like ecstatic about it. He's like, "Oh, vote for me," and I'm like, I'm just going to class. Bye. So like, it was weird because then I saw this movie like 2 years ago. I don't remember. And it was just fucking great. Alexander Payne's one of my favorites in Hollywood. Like, I love Alexander Payne. Sideways is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love this one. I love Election. I just said Election twice. Oops, sue me. The Descendants is great. Nebraska was great. I cannot wait for Downsizing, which is with Matt Damon. That sounds great. But Election, it's... this is what happens when you want to be top. This is what happens when you want to be the popular one. Tracy Flick, this girl is too much. She was in like every club. Like it's not a spoiler. It's in the first 5 minutes, and also the movie's almost 20 years old. So yeah, she's in all these clubs. She wants to be the president. Matthew Broderick's character, Jim McAllister, hates Tracy Flick. He is so fucking annoying. He's like, I hope she like fucking falls off a bridge or something. He says something like that, and it's great. No, it's an amazing movie. It's really clever and smart. Reese Witherspoon is fantastic in the movie. This was like one of her first big performances. I think this is the movie that got her on the map. I could be wrong, but it's definitely one of them, and it's absolutely incredible. It's one of the best comedies I've ever seen personally, and yeah, just smart, clever, unique, enjoyable. Alexander Payne is a fucking king. So yeah, Election is my number 3. I remember also on Facebook this past election, I was like, Tracy Flick for president, please, thanks. And it should have been that way. I'd rather have had Tracy Flick as our president than the current one. So no political tangents. I'm sorry. The end. Case closed. Number 3. The end.
Yeah, and I mean this in the best way possible. She plays a good bitch. Like she is so bitchy in the movie. Like, but yeah, I watched it on Netflix one night after I heard Brian hammered into my head going, "You need to watch this." Okay, so I watched it late one night when I couldn't sleep, and I liked it quite a bit. I'm more of a fan of Alexander Payne's modern stuff. Like, I really love Nebraska, and I'm looking forward to Downsizing so much. I still need to see The Descendants, but
so good.
Nebraska was so dope, and I cannot wait for Downsizing. But yeah, no, it's a good pick. I just I'm gonna have a lot more modern stuff. And it's like I said, please don't yell at me. Be kind to me. My number 3, I'm gonna go with one that I was dreading going into it, but I totally enjoyed myself. I found it to be entertaining. I found it to be really funny and charming. I liked all the characters. I liked what they brought to this weird ass acapella group. I'm going with Pitch Perfect. Never saw the sequel, but the first one, I remember I went with one of my exes, and we went in there, and I was like, oh, dear God, this is going to be so bad. And I found myself to enjoy it. I mean, it's simply an enjoyable comedy. And I really like Rebel Wilson and Anna Kendrick and stuff. I think they have a great rapport, back and forth. Brittany Snow is also pretty good in the movie. Like, it's just a really well done group of women to come together, be funny while still having the presence of an a cappella group. And I love a cappella. Just in general, it's fun to watch. And yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I never saw the sequel. I heard mixed things, but I really enjoyed the first one because it was a big-ass fucking surprise, for sure. I would actually consider that one of the better ones in the past, I guess, of this decade so far. So, yeah, so I'll go Pitch Perfect as my number 3.
I liked Pitch Perfect. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was surprised by it so much. The only thing that made me want to go see is Anna Kendrick, and I fucking love Anna Kendrick. So I was like, oh, 50-50 up in the air. Sure, I'll go see it, and it wasn't that bad. The sequel was okay. It was okay at best. I'm not really looking forward to a third one, personally, because I thought everything was wrapped up in the second one. But you know what? Fuck me, right? Money. It's coming out the same weekend as The Last Jedi. Good luck. Yeah, Pitch Perfect is a good choice.
Oh, that's it. So yeah,
I don't really have much to say. Like, it's
you can't
fun
really,
for what it is.
Yeah, you can't dive into depth. It's just an entertaining film. However, you can dive deep into definitely my top 2 picks. I have a feeling that we have the same number 1, and I think we both have talked about it once before. And I think just thinking about it, looking at the list of all these film-like comedies, it's going to be defined as one of the best of our. That's not even a hyperbole either. Like, I honestly think it's one of the best. But we still have to get to number 2. So, Brian, what do you have for number 2?
I feel like this is your number 2 as well. I could be wrong. Maybe it's from the same director. I could be wrong.
Wait. So you're making a bold prediction. You're saying that we have the same top 2.
Yes.
Oh,
I could be wrong. There's a 50-50 chance. I know we have the same number 1. I already know that right off the bat.
Correct.
Number 2, though, I don't know. I'm debating. It's going back and forth in my head. My number 2.
What do you got then?
My number 2 is Bridesmaids.
My number 2 is also Bridesmaids. So yeah, so we have the same top 2. Yeah, so Bridesmaids, once again, just like with Pitch Perfect, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew it was produced by Judd Apatow, and I was like, all right, Judd, you got me, fam. I will go see it. It's great. What a great fucking comedy. You laugh your fucking ass off every single time you see that one. Kristen Wiig is so great, and I love Maya Rudolph to pieces, and I cannot believe she is the baby mama to one of my favorite directors of all time, but that's another story. Paul Thomas Anderson, by the way. She is married and has kids with Paul Thomas Anderson. There will be blood director, Boogie Nights.
I was just looking him up yesterday. He has 4 kids with her.
It's weird. It's one of those things where when she talks about him, because she was being interviewed by Jimmy Kimmel, right? And she was like, yeah, I was in London for 5 months because my husband was working on a new film. I was like, he's working on the one with Daniel Day-Lewis. Your husband is he's a mastermind. Like, it's so funny to me that Paul Thomas Anderson, one of the greatest American directors, is married and has children with an SNL cast member. It's so funny. But anyways, Maya Rudolph is really funny. This is the kind of like official debut of Melissa McCarthy to the masses. This kind of propelled her to other movies.
Oscar nominated.
Yeah, and she was Oscar nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo got nominated for Best Original Screenplay. So it was definitely in the pop culture kind of mindset and really kind of just changed the game, like I said earlier in the episode, to female-led comedies. And this was like the first time where people got to see like a female type of hangover movie, and everyone's like, that was pretty good. These women are pretty funny. I don't know why I'm sounding like Sylvester Stallone here. You know, got a fucking sock in my mouth. But, like, that's how people are. They're like, oh, I don't want to go see it. It's got females. Okay, you sexist motherfucker. Like, just sit and watch it. Just judge it for how it is, not because they're women. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of blew me away. I loved everyone's chemistry. Even the chick from Reno 911 and Ellie Kemper from The Office, like, they got so many different women from so many different kind of comedic backgrounds, kind of brought them together.
Rose Byrne.
And Rose Byrne. They got all these women together from, like I said, different backgrounds, and really just kind of let them shine and let them kind of improv, because it was directed by Paul Feig, produced by Judd Apatow. You know, since, you know, Paul and Judd worked on Freaks and Geeks together, you know that these guys come from an improv background, and they probably let the women do probably 95% improv, and which is great, because the final product actually works out very well. It doesn't seem like it's overbearing with the improv. It's just it's just a nicely tuned, perfect comedy. And it's also, just like with other Judd Apatow movies, even though he's just producing it, it does have a lot of heart as well, with a lot of fear of commitment type of theme going on, and a lot of people, you know, afraid to like kind of you know, move on and really kind of be an individual and not let other people judge you type of deal. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, in Judd Apatow comedies, you just have to peel back the layers and look at it, folks. It's not just dick joke after dick joke, which, you know, that's the primary thing, but there's stuff underneath. But yeah, Bridesmaids, very solid comedy. Definitely one of my favorites for sure. And like I said, this kind of changed the game, especially not because of its comedy. That was one thing. The second thing was the box office, and 3, it's Oscar nominated, folks. People tend to forget that. So, Brian, take it away.
Yeah, Bridesmaids took me by surprise as well. I didn't see it in the theater when it came out, because I remember that weekend, oh shit, something came out. I remember my mom and my sister went to go see this, and me and my dad, oh fuck, what came out? I'll look it up later. Anyways, Bridesmaids, fantastic. Wonderful comedy, one of the best of the decade so far. I love this movie so much. Just like you said, is incredibly funny. From the beginning to the end, it's great. You know, I know there's not like Oscars for like supporting cameo type of performances, but everybody that I've talked to about Bridesmaids, film school and outside film school, we all believe, and Academy, if you're listening to this, you should listen. John fucking Hamm should have been nominated for something, even though that it's just a funny little thing in my head. John Hamm in the movie was fucking incredible, you know, because I remember I was like, hey, look, it's the guy from Mad Men, and then he's in the comedy, and I'm like, oh fuck, incredible. No, really well written stuff. The airplane sequence, absolutely one of the best like sequences in any comedy I've ever seen. I'm still shocked Melissa McCarthy got nominated for an Academy Award. Like, it's weird because you watch like all these comedies that she's in, you're like, Academy Award nominee Melissa McCarthy. That's so shocking. But it's a great performance, but it's like they never nominate comedic performances ever. So it's like a very awesome thing. It's crazy that this big woman, who's not big anymore in terms of size, she got nominated for an Academy Award. That's insane. But yeah, really awesome amount of heart. Like, the second half, third act of this movie gets really depressing, and I mean, it ends happy, of course, but like, you're just like, oh fuck, wait, no, stop it, Paul, stop, easy, like, too much heart, it's too much. No, it was great. Really fantastic comedy. It was probably the best comedy of that year. It would have been nice if it got like a Best Picture nomination or something, because it got nominated for screenplay, and a lot of people thought maybe this could be the comedy that gets nominated for Best Picture, but it didn't. Oh well. You know, actually it wasn't the best comedy that year. Even though this movie is a dramedy, 50-50 was the best comedy of 2011.
Yes.
So, but
Hands
this
down.
was right behind. This was right behind it. So yeah, probably Paul Feig's best movie. Like if I had to rank the 4 movies he's done so far, it would probably be this, The Heat, Spy, and Ghostbusters. And look, I know a lot of people did not like Ghostbusters. I didn't think it was that bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it for what it was. Now, granted, I only saw it once. I haven't seen it since it came out. Who knows? Maybe I'll not like it, but I might give it another chance. But yeah, Bridesmaids, incredible, fantastic. I'm ready to party. Number 2, the end.
Yeah, and going back to Ghostbusters, do you know what the number one problem with that movie was? And it was not the women. Paul Feig does not work well in PG-13 realms. He just doesn't. When you look at either Spy, The Heat, or Bridesmaids, those are nice, comfortable R-rated films, and it works out better than just kind of childish-looking PG-13 film. It just doesn't work at all. So it also disturbed me that Paul Feig also produced Snatch, and the writer of Ghostbusters wrote Snatched.
It's sad. I met the writer of Ghostbusters as screening for this, and it's so sad because I remember she was so excited about this about Snatch because she's like, well, right now I'm filming this Amy Schumer Goldie Hawn comedy, and everyone was like, oh shit, that sounds great, and I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. Then when I saw the trailer, I'm like, so this is what she was talking about. Well, hopefully the trailer's bad, and it turns out the movie's apparently bad. So
I will give Katie Dippold this, is that she is credited for several episodes of one of my favorite comedies, Parks and Rec. So I will give her that. And she wrote
The Heat.
She wrote The Heat, which was actually good. And I think it was because of Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock, not Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn. So, I mean, it makes a world of difference on who you cast, who you get to direct. It makes a difference, folks. But, yeah, I think Paul Feig, for the most part, directing-wise, is hitting 3 for 4. So he's actually doing really well in my book. Just no more PG-13 for you, Paul. Sorry. All right, so our number 1, I'm going to have Brian introduce it. Kenny, prepare to change your pants because we're about to blow your fucking mind. Because I know it's one of your favorite comedies, which is amazing. Because when you speak to wonderful Kenny, one of our great listeners, like he looks like me and Brian. We just look like typical men. Like we like comedies with boobs, tits, and the F word. And like when you hear number 1, you're like, that's your number 1. Like it's fucking weird, but it's one of the fucking best. Brian, what is this movie?
All right, so it was the year 2004. I was 6 years old, so I didn't see this movie until I was like 12.
I was
Chase
14.
was 14.
14, so I was at the perfect age for it.
Chase was at the perfect age for it. I was only a 6-year-old short curly-haired freak, and I still basically am a short curly-haired freak. This movie was directed by Mark Waters, who at the time directed a film that came out the previous year called Freaky Friday. It was written by...
Wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
I think Freaky Friday is fantastic.
It's a fine remake. It's okay.
Yeah, but when you look at it, it has a great performance from Jamie Lee Curtis. And the other person that stars in it, who stars in this movie, written by Tina Fey, who at the time was big on SNL. She was still on SNL, I believe. And you had the star, who was a big star at the time, named Lindsay Lohan. Ladies and gentlemen, our number 1 is... It had to be this. Mean Girls.
Whoa. Mine was Made Manhattan.
Well, see, hey.
Mine was also the Nanny Diaries. Mine was also all the terrible 2000 comedies. Anyways, Mean Girls, yes.
Yeah, Mean Girls, I'll be honest with you, and I'm sure a lot of people my age say this. When I heard so many girls talk about this, I'm like, okay, it sounds like the typical chick flick, whatever. And then a lot of guys were talking about it, and they're like, no, it's really good. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll succumb to my wounds and watch the movie. And, those wounds went away because this movie is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. It's one of the best comedies I've ever seen in my life. Mean Girls is so quotable. Never gets old. It's 13 years old, this movie. It never gets old. When it's on, you gotta put it on. Like that's the way it goes. Because of this movie, October 3rd is a special day. He turned around and asked me what day it was. It was October 3rd.
That's why it's special.
Exactly. It's special for that reason alone. And this movie's it's just incredible. Great characters, fantastic performances. Lindsay Lohan is really great here. She's absolutely wonderful. You know, when I watch movies like this, Freaky Friday, even The Parent Trap, I'm so sad that she went downhill the way she did. You know, if she kept going up, she would have been so likable by everybody in the world, but she had to do what she did, and she's trying now to get back to her roots. She's trying, but she's not really succeeding. Um, she's amazing. You know, just from the moment the movie opened, she's like, "Well, I used to live in Africa, but now I live here." If you lived in Africa, why are you white? Yes. And then you got incredible performances from Amanda Seyfried, Lacey Cabot, and shockingly, when I saw the movie, I was like, I did not expect that she was in this movie, Rachel McAdams, because this was the same year that The Notebook came out, and you watch the movie and you're like, so she goes from playing like a 30-year-old to an 18-year-old. That's so weird. And then all the adult performances are great. And then you got Lizzie Kaplan. And then, of course, you got the best character, in my opinion, of any comedy of the 2000s, Damien. I'm sorry that I don't know.
Here.
Moves his head to the side. Just incredible. Oh, my God, Danny DeVito, I love your work.
I love your work. Oh, it's so great. Like, you know what's really great about Mean Girls is that you could seriously watch it 1,000 times and it never gets old. Like, all the jokes that come up always still fucking kill. Like, I'm telling you, every time when Damien, like, says something like, she doesn't even go here, like, all these lines, they sound stupid out of context, but when you watch them in the movie, they work so well with the comedic timing.
They do. Coach Carr? Train Peck?
It's too gay to function. Oh man, this one caught me off guard so much because, like with Brian, like this movie was popular when I was in middle school, and all the girls were yipping about it, and we're like, okay, yeah, they got their chick flick, that's fine, whatever. But then, like Brian said, a lot of guys start talking about it. It was one of those things to where, you know, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. You convinced me, Society. And it's wonderful. It's so sharply written by Tina Fey. It's actually kind of mind blowing. Because, like I said, you could watch it over and over again, but it's still funny. You still find newer jokes in it. You still find the same jokes funny, but then like the second time might be funnier. I don't know. It's just it's never dull. The performances are great. Rachel McAdams, you know, plays a terrible person. So does her clique. Like it's actually a really kind of smart movie told through the kind of comedic lens of like actual high school and like, you know, cliques and, you know, how people are like separated and whatnot, and, you know, on their appearance and, you know, just who they know. And, you know, so it's kind of told in that kind of comedic way, which, you know, brings this situation to light in a lighter way, but also kind of raises some questions when you're done. So, you know, I think it tackles high school, you know, in a very like caricaturistic type of way, but also while still being kind of smart. So it's a nice blend. It's really great comedy. If you guys have not seen it, Brian, myself, and Kenny can tell you it is one of the best. It will go down as one of the best of the millennial generation. I'm not even joking. Tina Fey needs to write more movies. Now, she has written one. I believe she co-wrote or she was a part of the writing process for Baby Mama. No, thank you. But yeah, Mean Girls is definitely what she'll be known for unless she tops it. It is simply one of the best. So, guys,
it is absolutely incredible. Just, you know, people may like look at it as just a chick flick, but I'm telling you guys, it's actually a really great movie. Like, you know, coming from me and Chase, that's saying something. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I would say give it a shot before you knock it type of deal. So, and I agree with Brian. I will end this episode with this, is that Lindsay Lohan, I mean, she had a pretty decent career with, like, you know, Parent Trap and Freaky Friday and this one, and she also did that other Disney film, and she also did Herbie, which, you know, a lot of people don't talk about, but people still went to go see it. So she was a household name, and then drugs get to the better of her and stuff, and she kind of ruins her life, and she could have been something. She could have been one of the greats. She could have been a contender. But I think, just unfortunate events happen, and she's not that anymore. But I think for, that little time capsule that Mean Girls and Parent Trap and Freaky Friday were in, she was a rising star for sure, and Mean Girls is definitely one to kind of go out on. I mean, she's done stuff beyond that, but this was kind of the last good one she did. So, yeah, what about you guys? What are some of your favorite female-led comedies? Please comment in the place right below my face and let me know. As far as honorable mentions, I gotta be honest with you guys, I've never seen any of the Legally Blonde movies. I've never seen either Miss Congeniality or I've never seen Clueless. I know, it's weird. Easy A, definitely top 10 worthy for sure. Just couldn't make my list. The Heat for sure. What else? Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Frances Ha. Did you guys ever see that one with Greg Gerwig? It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. It was like a nice little light comedy.
I'm not a big Greta Gerwig fan.
Oh my god!
I like her as an actress, as a writer. I liked her in 20th Century Women, but like, I'm trying to get back. I'll try to watch Frances Ha again. I do like Noah Baumbach, so
Yeah. I would implore you guys to like watch like big blockbuster kind of female-led comedies and these smaller indie ones too, because they will surprise you, like with Brian and Big Fat Greek Wedding. I watched 40 minutes of The Duff, and I can tell you it's pretty good so far. I just didn't finish it. So the first 40 minutes of The Duff, honorable mention. What else? My last one, Obvious Child. I forgot about that one. With Jenny Slate. That was a really kind of sweet little comedy. It was a nice little.
That's A24, right?
I believe so. Yeah, that was one of my first ever. That followed right after kind of the Spring Breakers era, so it was really kind of close to it. But yeah, Obvious Child's a really good one too. That's an independent film. So, Brian, what about you?
Yeah, Easy A for sure. Really fucking solid. I like Clueless. I don't think it's great, but I do enjoy it for what it is. I do, like I said, the first Legally Blonde's good. Bring It On, not that bad. The Heat, Sister Act, Pitch Perfect. A League of Their Own. I mean, a lot of people may consider Tom Hanks the lead, but in reality, Gina Davis is the lead, so yeah. I gotta say this right now to people who love 80s comedies or not. As good as the movie is, why does everybody fucking love Heather so much? Listen.
I've never seen it, so I can't comment.
It is one of the darkest movies I ever fucking saw in my life. Okay, I'm not gonna say like why it's dark, but it caught me off guard, which is smart, but my God. Oh, good movie, but just not great. I guess it is an honorable mention. Chase, do you like Hocus Pocus? Because everybody my age loves that fucking movie.
What a very nostalgic pick. I saw that in the Disney Channel. I remember back in the day when, like, because I was during the whole Disney Channel movie renaissance, where the Disney Channel original movies would they would happen once a month, and like Motocross, Smart House, and then Hocus Pocus and stuff, like Halloween Town. I remember all these movies coming out and stuff. Hocus Pocus is very creepy when you look at it now, because it deals a lot with sexuality and sexual themes, and you're like, damn, Disney, calm that shit down, yo. But as a nostalgic piece, I'll say I like it, but I need to revisit to kind of analyze it now that we've seen films. So yeah, it's more of a nostalgic thing.
I don't get the love for it personally. I mean, it's fine, but it's not incredible. Trainwreck is an honorable mention. Enough said with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini. That movie is fucking incredible, and a lot of people didn't see it. Really fucking good. James Gandolfini should have been nominated for an Oscar for it. I mean, he should have been nominated for The Drop as well, but fuck me, right? And Waitress with Kerry Russell. That movie is really fucking good. So
I never saw that one either. But
so good.
I love Kerry Russell. So I need to, because everyone says that one is definitely good. I remember people keep talking about that, but yeah, as far as dishonorable mentions, I gotta tell you, none of them really kind of pop up for me because like even like the ones that people would say would be bad, like a Miss Congeniality 2 or like Legally Blonde 2, I never seen any of those. So like I don't know, Brian, can you like maybe spark my imagination? Maybe there's one I'm missing.
I really can't think of it. Oh, another honorable mention. Bad Moms. I liked Bad Moms. I did not. I didn't expect. What?
I think Catherine Hahn is the best part about that movie, but that's about it.
Oh, dude, come on. All right. I didn't think it was great, but
I'm good.
It was. I really can't think of anything bad on top of my head. Fuck.
I listen. I know this sounds cocky, but I try to stay away from bad-looking comedies. I do. I don't watch everything. Like I try to watch good stuff. So if something looks terrible, I'm not gonna like succumb myself to this torture of watching this like comedy and be like, well, that was terrible. I'm glad I enjoyed it. No, it's like, you know, I look at the trailer, look at the poster. If it doesn't intrigue me, I'm not going to watch it. So maybe I've stayed away from a lot.
Maybe Tammy's my worst.
I never saw that one. Once again, never saw it because it looked bad. So I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Legally Blonde 2, bad. I'm trying to find more, but I can't. I feel bad because there's definitely bad ones I've seen, but I can't think of what they are. That's the problem. So
well, there's definitely bad ones out there that I haven't seen, which I am thankful for. However, what about you guys? Name me some bad ones down below, and I'll make sure I stay away from them. But
maybe Sex and the City 2. Maybe that's the worst.
Never saw it. All right, so yeah, female-led comedies. Please continue that conversation down below. Brian, what are we? I guess before we move on to next week, just a recap. Brian, number 5 to 1, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Number 4, Juno. Number 3, Election. 2, Bridesmaids. 1, Mean Girls. For me, 5 on up. Trainwreck, Juno, Pitch Perfect, Bridesmaids, and Mean Girls. I Am Very Modern. Yeah. All right, Brian, what are we doing next week?
Next week, Alien Covenant comes out. We are going to be honoring the film star, one of the most beautiful men on the planet, Michael Fassbender.
Oh, this is going to be great. I think Brian has an inkling of what my number 1 is, but
oh, hell yeah, I do.
Yeah. So and it might be your number 1 too, but yeah, I think our top like 2 or 3 will probably be the same. He's one of the best. And when hey, if you guys want to hear a little I guess nugget in my review of Alien Covenant, Michael Fassbender is the best part about the movie. And he's actually really, really fucking good. I'm not going to say what he does or, you know, what's happening, but his performance is stellar. Like, he is one of the best for a reason. And when you watch that performance, you go, yeah, he's gonna walk away with an Oscar one day. But, yeah, Fassbender, good old Fassbendy. Cannot wait to, do a list over him. It will be a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, that will do it for this week's show. Brian, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at FilmJunkieBrian and on YouTube at Brian Sutfield.
That's right. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and it's at Real Chase Lee. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more top 5 episodes that we deliver every single week to you guys. And all the links in the description will be below for you to click on, enjoy, and spread this around. Because you know what? It's an okay podcast. Spread it around. Let people know this is the definitive top 5 show, motherfuckers. We will see you guys next week for top 5 Saturdays Live. Michael Fassbender. I'm Chase Lee.
And I'm Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. See you guys next week. You guys are the best. Kenny, I'm glad that we can make your dreams come true and have Mean Girls as the number 1. So, everyone, peace out.